let's go over to disappointing team of the week here. And so I suppose, Grant, back to you. You're picking here your most disappointing team.
Well, my most disappointing team is I'm going to the team who I thought my MVP was going to come from, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals. You could say Joe Burrow didn't practice all off season with a calf injury. You have Orlando Brown at left tackle, Jonah Williams at right tackle. Yeah, they gave up 3 sacks, but the thing I was most disappointed with, you're playing the Browns on a mucky, rainy day in Cleveland. You know Stefanski's going to want to run the ball. You let the Browns average over 5 yards a carry through that whole game, and you play that game on their terms. And what is going on with Zach Taylor and the Bengals in week 1? They just love laying eggs. They did it last year against the Steelers, this year against the Browns. From just seeing the highlights and the way this team played, there was no sense of urgency. And did they not learn after last year that an early season loss in September can cost you a home playoff game? Where was Cincinnati? They looked like they didn't want to play. It's like, oh, they got wet. They were cold, and they said, oh, we'll just wait till we got a game next week. It's unacceptable for a team like that when you have the aspirations that this team does to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's just a broader spectrum. Even like the Eagles, Nick Sirianni said that he's going to reevaluate playing his ones in the preseason, because you see the tackling isn't great. A lot of these teams, they just don't look as in sync. The Chiefs, yeah, they lost, but I mean, if Kadarius Toney doesn't do that, they win that game. And it's also just injuries too. There's two different sides to it, where I think if your body still needs to get ready and to get used to taking hits, running around, scrambling, getting used to that physicality, because I think that's another part of where you see a lot of the injuries happening, and then just the out of syncness. And Grant, like you said, those slow starts can cost you a home playoff game, and especially Patrick Mahomes has never played a playoff game on the road. But he's going to be fine, but I would like to see it. Who knows? But my disappointing team, and I've kind of bounced around, but I've debated. I'm stuck here. I had the Bengals down as well, but I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. I thought the defense looked really good. They were improved. I thought Flores did a good job, and but the mistakes came, and I thought the mistakes for the Vikings were just going to come on the defensive side. I did not expect it to come from the offense. They were sloppy. They had 3 turnovers. I believe, was it 2 in the red zone and 1 on the other, all 3 on the plus side of their field?
Well, 2 in the red zone, and then 1 Tampa Bay got set up either at the 30 or the 25 of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what it was.
Then the other one was on the goal line.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the O-line was terrible. And the special teams had a 4-point swing, which cost them the game. And then I think what the Vikings did they have like 3 drives in the second half? And 2 of them were 3 and outs. And then the defense gets off the field, and then the special teams brain farts. The guy lines up off sides. Instead of settling for a field goal, the Bucs get an automatic first down. That was when they had their touchdown. And then the Vikings, they got to get ready. Because they have a short week. They're playing tonight in Philly. It's going to be Philly's home opener. That crowd's going to be fired up. The Vikings I'm not ready to say it's a do or die game, but there's a lot of things they have to clean up. And maybe with the short week, they can put all those mistakes behind them and just go out and play, where they don't have time to sit there and dwell on them. They can just go out there and play. Maybe that'll work out. Hopefully it does, because I picked the Vikings to win the North. I still think they can win the North, and I think this offense is going to figure it out. But week 1, they were my disappointing team.
I'm going to the other side of the Thursday night game this week. I'm going the Eagles. Yes, they won, but they did not look good at all. It barely had 250 total yards, which is like polar opposite. Shit, they do that in one half last year.
Sometimes they do it in a quarter.
Yeah, it's like they just look totally out of it. Their secondary outside of Slay was just freaking terrible. I think Gardner Johnson leaving is going to have a massive impact there. Lost their linebacker. He's on IR. Shining thing is their D-line is still absolutely freaking disgusting. Jalen Carter might murder Kirk Cousins tomorrow night, but besides Jalen Carter, there really wasn't a whole lot of positivity outside of just a W on Sunday.
Well, and Ethan, to your point, a good first drive, you have to kick a field goal. The next drive, Mac Jones throws errant, goes right to Slay. He takes it to the house. The following play after that, Zeke fumbles on the screen pass, but they still don't do anything. And after that, Jake Elliott kicks 3 field goals. And I think it goes back to Dylan's point. The Eagles didn't play any starters in the preseason. They were ho-humming around. They looked kind of lost. And your point exactly again, Dylan. Nakobe Dean. What was his problem coming out of college? Medical. He's out. James Bradbury's got a concussion. He's not playing. Fletcher Cox has a rib injury.
Gainwell's not playing.
Gainwell's not playing. Again, you lose
Gardner Johnson. And they're also going to replace two coordinators.
And they're trying to replace 2 coordinators. Yeah, so they just, to Ethan's point, they were just kind of ho-humming around, and they got lucky the Patriots couldn't put it together for a full game, because if the Patriots could have, they should have won that game, like Ethan called in April.
Yeah. Well, and I had the Patriots covering. And if Belichick sticks with his regular rules of kicking those field goals, because they got stops when they had to, and then they end up going for it on 4th down in field goal range. If they kick the field goal, they get the stop, they get another stop, they drive down, that's in field goal range. They should have been 1-0, but Bill decided to gamble.
Well, I think, that you can live by those policies Bill had when Tom Brady's your quarterback. But when Mac Jones is your guy and it's raining and you're building in a new passing offense, I think maybe you sit back and you're like, I got to be a little more aggressive here. So I get where Bill was coming from in that aspect, because you just don't have the faith in this offense, at least at this point in the year yet.
Maybe, but you still, though, if you don't, you kick the field goals, trust your defense. The defense was playing well. They got stops when they had to. You kick them. So, and it's easy to armchair quarterback here, but armchair coach. But, coulda, shoulda, woulda. It's easy always looking back, but